Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. As many of you probably have noted, I have been on a hiatus for the last 2 years. And you know, I'm back. I've come back. I've decided to come back. Where did I come from? What have I been doing? Where did I go? What's been going on with you? Well, I thought, you know what? I think it's time to come back and give a video. I have had so much stuff happen. A lot of drama, a lot of passion, and a lot of science, and a lot of traveling, believe it or not. And a lot of big changes have occurred in my life over the past roughly year and a half, 2 years since I last uploaded. And I thought, you know what? I'd like to get back to it. If you'd like to come on this journey, and come along with me. As many of you know, those of you that are subscribed and follow me, I am a YouTuber as a hobby. I'm not like the big guys on YouTube. I don't make any money from this. At least at the moment, I purely and simply do this as a hobby. I enjoy being an educator. I enjoy teaching about science and the things I'm passionate about, like gaming and gardening. Those are the three main tenets that I put on my YouTube platform, if you will. Science, gardening, and gaming. And I love them still to this day. They are the most amazing topics of all. However, other things have popped up in my life that have taken quite an interest, and I'd also like to share those as well later on, and we'll discuss that a little bit more. However, I thought, you know, since this is the first video that I've posted in roughly 2 years, I thought maybe what I would do is give you guys a little bit of a story of what's been going on, an update of my life, so to speak, to give you just a simple idea. So the first thing you'll notice is the background behind me is different. Many of my videos were shot in a different location. They were in my old house. But I've moved. We've moved. So one thing that's changed is that I've moved into a different house. So I have a house now, and this is the house that I'm in. It's a beautiful place. It's a very Victorian or Edwardian kind of house. And we've been here about 9 months. It's a beautiful place, and we really enjoy being here. Now, the last time I spoke, and many of you may have known throughout my videos, especially on the science stuff about why I should study science and about my journey, I am a scientist. Still the case. I'm still a scientist, and still teaching, and love every minute of it. And what has been part of the reason why I kind of left YouTube at the time I did is because I had a huge dissertation to write. And and for those of you that may not know, when you go to grad school, not all programs are like that, but my program was where you have to write a thesis. So you take courses, which almost all grad schools require you to take at least some kind of course. Or courses, and then some require you to do scholarly activity or research. And being that I was in science and in biology, I did my own investigative project, an original research on plant microbe interactions and how we can use bacteria to promote growth. And so at the time I was writing my dissertation, and for those of you who have ever written a dissertation, it's a huge undertaking. And it requires a lot of focus. And I just became absorbed with it. And then I got a different research once I finished it, which is great. It took me quite some time, about 6 months. Once I finished it and submitted it and got it all done and published and wonderful stuff from it, I got another opportunity to do some more research and take the skills I had learned in that graduate program into looking at how we can help mitigate the stresses that are occurring due to climate change on our forests across Canada. For those of you that don't know, and I think I might make a video about this later on about my research and things, just very briefly. Obviously, I can't give you details, but I can give you an idea and educate people about the science of climate change and how it will impact us. And so I study how climate change currently, right now, is impacting the forests around us, in particular the boreal forest. And anyways, I'm using fungi, which associate with the roots naturally, and using them as a way to help mitigate heat stress and high CO2 stress and all that in plants, and particularly the trees, to help save them. But so I've been doing that, and once I got into this, for about 9 months, I lived and breathed this stuff. Like I was in the lab analyzing hormones and extracting tissues and growing trees and looking at fungal profiles and cell biological techniques to understand the association that they had with the roots. And I just was absorbed, and it was like 15-hour days. And we'd get up in the morning at 5 a.m. and I would come home at like 4 to 5 p.m. And sometimes, especially when I was doing biochemical work, I wouldn't be home till 10 o'clock at night. So I'd leave at 5 a.m., come home at 10 o'clock at night. And yeah, I was there all the time. And that was good. It gave me some wonderful opportunities and satisfaction, and I really enjoyed it. And I still, to this day, am studying that and advancing that area. So that's where I've been going. And then somewhere along that journey there, I met somebody very special. And this particular young lady was by far the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And, we started talking, going out more. And, during that time that I was away, I fell madly in love. She is the most spectacular woman I've ever met. Changed my life completely. And I really don't know what I would do without her. I can't think of a day without her. I don't ever want to even conceive of that thought. So, from all that love blossomed a beautiful relationship, and we've got married. So you might notice my wrong hand, my ring on my finger. And we got married in June of 2018, and it's been wonderful. Married life has been fantastic, and I've heard all kinds of things about married life. It was great the first couple of years, and it goes down the toilet real fast. But we're going to find out. My wife's also a scientist and a psychologist. She's a double major in psychology and in microbiology and molecular genetics. So she's a scientist. She's also an artist. She is by far the most talented artist I've ever seen. She's an impressionist painter. Highly impressive. Gives me a run for my money in almost every category. So I'm very lucky to have her. And, that was quite a big change. So, we had my work and research and teaching, which I was doing this whole time, getting married, right? Dating, getting married, getting this new place, right? And if that wasn't enough, we had the privilege to have a baby girl. So my daughter, who you might see, where is she? There, right there. You can see she's right behind me, right? I'm on duty right now, taking care of my wife's resting, and we had the privilege to have a daughter, and she's been another life changer. I've always wanted children, always wanted to be a dad, and I couldn't be happier. Of course, there are days when she's unbelievably stressful. where she refuses to quiet down, where she's got to have that bottle now, and I want to pull my hair out. But through the whole thing, I just realized that, you know what? I love her so much. She may drive me bananas with the screaming and the crying that I don't understand. But you know what? At the end of the day, she's a wonderful person. And I know she's going to be an outstanding member of our community. I already know that. And I love my daughter more than anything in the world. And that's been a huge thing. And she's only she's only 2 months. So I don't think I said that yet, but she's only 2 months. So being a new father has been trying, ups and downs. Sleep deprivation's killing me. I mean, the last 2 months I've maybe got, the longest I've slept was 5 hours, and that was lucky. But most nights, it's coffee. I've got my coffee here right now. It's this stuff, the caffeine, that's keeping me going. Last night I got maybe 2 hours of sleep. But, well, there you go. Pardon me while I wake myself up a little bit. Anyways, so that's been a big changes have occurred in my life. And right now, I'm on parental leave. So I've been on parental leave now for a month and a half. And the first month, obviously, I did nothing but just take care of Aurora, my daughter. Her name's Aurora. And I've been taking care of her with my wife. And it's been such a special thing. And things that I'd like to talk about on my channel, besides obviously science, gaming, and gardening, would be my daughter talking about being a dad, right? What is it? Passing tips on, getting tips in. I mean, if you have tips, I would love to hear them. I'm sure my wife would love them as well. But, we see so many channels, when my wife and I were looking stuff up of how to be, preparing for being parents. So many YouTube channels, and it's often to do with mothers, and that's great. But you know what? Why don't we have a dad's perspective once? Hey, I could give a perspective. I'm a father, new-time father, a dad. You can come on my journey with me and learn all the tribulations about being a new dad, as well as, looking at as a father who's a scientist, who may do things a little more differently than other people, who might have a different parenting style than most people because of that background. So I thought that might be kind of cool. And the other thing is, of course, being a husband, share some stories, some life stories, that's happened and that kind of thing. So I will continue to do the science and gaming. Gaming is still a passion of mine. I don't know if you can tell, somewhere back in here, there's my PlayStation Pro, and my Switch. Great games. I've been playing all kinds of wonderful experience on them. I'd love to talk about that. But I'd also like, add some new perspectives and talk about, of course, science. What's been going on in science? Is science still boring? What do we do? How do we make science more interesting? I think it all comes down to being expressive and trying to get that enthusiasm pushed. And dispel all the myths and rumors that one has about it. And I think I can help with that. Maybe even talk about grad school, my experience in grad school, and academia, for example, different things with academia. What do I think about it, and so on. But yeah, there's so much I can go on with this channel, and I would really enjoy coming back to it. And being, as I said, I'm on parental leave, so I've got some time, and I'd like to continue to add videos. At times, when I have really busy with work and traveling, I did say I was traveling. I went all over the place for conferences, and that's still going to happen. So I still will be, away for large chunks of time. I have a potential to go to Budapest in July, for example, for a biochemical conference. Right? It's a week away. So, I do have a lot of things that might impede me from uploading a lot. But I think it's important, and I really want to do it. With my wife supporting me and a couple of colleagues and friends, and even my students, surprisingly, wanted me to upload. So I thought, you know what? What the heck? Let's upload this. So, and let's have some fun. So I'm looking now, and I can see that the time's going on. It's about 15, a little over 15 minutes. So I think this is a great ending point. And I hope you will come with me on my journey to re-explore the universe, science, the cosmos, and most importantly, what's going on in my life and how it might help others. So thank you again, and I hope I'll see you again soon.